Hey New Life, David here. Welcome to Memory Mondays. As you know, that on Monday nights we are working through a catechism, and the catechism is just a series of questions and answers all around the Christian faith that you can memorize and will hopefully just help ground some of those truths really deep within you. So we've been doing that for the last 9 weeks. This is week number 10, believe it or not. And today's question is focusing on the fourth and the fifth commandment. So, what does God require from the fourth and the fifth commandment? And the answer is this: fourth, that on the Sabbath day we spend time in public and private worship to God, that we rest from routine employment, that we serve others and the Lord in anticipation of our eternal Sabbath. And fifth, that we love and honor our mother and father, and that we submit to their godly discipline and direction in our lives. So, let me share a few thoughts now, specifically about commandment number 4. I think it's really an apt thing to talk about at the moment while we're in this phase of lockdown. So, stay tuned and I'll share a few thoughts on that. So, I want to share just a couple of thoughts around this whole concept of the Sabbath and what is that? Why is it important to us as Christians? So, the word Sabbath, it comes from the Hebrew word Shabbat, and that literally means a day where you rest from your labor. And right at the very start of the Bible, we see this example with God creating the world and the universe, but then on the seventh day, he rests. He takes a day off. And I think it's really an important principle to include in the rhythm of our life. Often, I think modern life is so busy, so hectic, and we cram so much into it that we can easily forget about resting. I had a really good example of what happens recently when you don't devote time to rest and recover. Ashley and I, as you know, we moved house just last weekend. It feels like longer in some ways, but last weekend. And obviously, at the moment, we can't ask anyone to help because of social distancing, and it made it very challenging. So, as you can imagine, Ashley and I were moving out a house that we've lived in for 10 years whilst looking after 5 kids, and it's just her and I. And so we've got these big bits of furniture, and as you can imagine, it was a real slog. And that's okay. We knew it was going to be like that, and we got through it fine. But that little period of intense kind of work and activity when we were moving out, it lasted probably maybe a couple of weeks, let's say. And what we both felt at the end of that time, we both felt ready for a rest. We both felt worn out physically and emotionally. It really takes its toll on you, as I'm sure many of you who have moved house before will know. And what we really enjoyed was when we came to the end of it and we moved in to the house we're in now, the Church Manse, where we'll live for a little while, is that we really appreciated that couple of days downtime where we were able just to kick back, rest, and recover. But often, I think in modern life, sometimes we don't take that opportunity as often as we should. And sometimes we are hitting, it's like we're on a treadmill and we're just keeping on running and not allowing ourselves that time to chill, to rest, to recover. And you might remember a couple of weeks ago, I shared a little quote from G.K. Chesterton that said, "Don't remove a fence until you know why it was put up." And this is one of the fences, I think, that has been removed in modern times, is this concept of rest and recovery. God created you and he knows how you work. And God created you to work and to be active, but also to have rest built into your schedule. And at the moment, during lockdown, we're in a slightly weird place. We're in a time where actually, in some ways, we're quieter than usual and we're less active. But then I'm sure, certainly, a lot of you will be able to relate to this. Is in other ways, we are far more busy and far more active than we ever have been. And perhaps that might take a different form during this time. It might be that you're active doing IT things or Zoom meetings, or things like that. But it is a period of time where it is very easy to forego things like proper rest, proper sleep. Your routines and rhythms that you were accustomed to prior to lockdown can easily get shooken up and slightly warped. And so I just want to encourage you, have a think about how your daily rhythms are. Are you incorporating a regular routine amount of rest and recovery into your schedule? If you're not, then I would imagine you'll be feeling that. It'll be a bit like Ash and I after we moved everything out of our house into this one. You'll be feeling a little bit wiped out. You might notice emotionally you're just not quite at the level you were at before. Maybe you're slightly more irritable, a bit more cranky, a bit more maybe nippy with some of the kids or your spouse. And I want to encourage you, make sure you get the rest that you require. This isn't some kind of law that we have to obey now to earn God's approval, but the spirit of the commandment is that God realized how much we needed rest and recovery and time for recuperation built into our rhythm. It's how we're designed, how we're created as human beings. So I encourage you, make sure you get that into your schedule. Get to bed a little bit earlier. Put down your phone that little bit earlier. Don't watch that extra episode on the telly. Instead, get some decent sleep. Do something low-key and that will help you rest. Get a warm bath with some nice candles. Take some time out to look after your soul. You will not regret it. It will be a really good decision in the long run. So take care. Join us again next week. We'll be looking at the next question. Hope you're all doing well. As always, we're missing you loads. Can't wait to see you again soon. Take care.